Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to be making eggplant parmesan. Mostly everything that I'm using were things that I got from the food pantry this past week. I'm also going to be making a homemade sauce blend with things that I got from the food pantry this last week too. So the first thing I'm going to do, friends, is take a pan and line it with parchment paper. And I'm going to start cutting into the eggplant about 1/4 of an inch thick slices. So I'm just going to keep slicing until the whole eggplant is sliced. You can go thicker, you can go thinner, or some people prefer to take off the skin. I normally actually take off the skin and fry them in a frying pan. Instead, this time I'm going to be baking it because it's just a little bit easier for me to do. And it's going to taste just the same too. And I'm choosing to leave the skin on this time, which is fine. You can modify to your preference. But this was an enormous eggplant that we got from the food pantry food haul this week. I'm so blessed. My mother-in-law absolutely loves this stuff. So I'm going to make it for her. And I'm going to eat some too. So next thing you're going to do is just kind of overlap just a tidbit the eggplant on the cookie sheet or pan with the parchment paper. When I finish cutting. Now also, I should say that I did not have extra virgin olive oil. So I did have to, normally I would use extra virgin olive oil. In this case, I had vegetable oil and that's all I had, so that's what I used. It's okay to make these little modifications sometimes, friends. When you're on a tight budget, you got to do what you got to do, and sometimes oil is oil. I love the taste of extra virgin olive oil or even olive oil the best, of course, but I just simply didn't have that, and that's okay. So I made peace with it and used the vegetable oil. It was a little war inside of myself for just a fraction of a second, and I got over it. I couldn't believe it I could not believe it when I had to go, I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to use another pan. It was insane. So, getting another pan and lining it right now. Parchment paper is the best. Okay, so I'm going to finish putting all these on there, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of baste the tops of the eggplants with oil. And like I said, I did end up just using the vegetable oil that I had. Wasn't the end of the world. Not that big of a deal. Got my little baster thing here, or whatever you want to call it. And my oil. And you don't want to get them too saturated, friends. Just a little bit, just grazing across the top. You don't want them like too oily or anything like that. But just enough on each little piece. Eggplant is such a funny vegetable. I would have thought it was a fruit, but it's actually a vegetable. The seeds are actually really yummy too. Some people, you can even de-seed. I do have no idea how to de-seed a eggplant, but you can choose to de-seed it and make it without also. I'll have to do that in a video sometime and try to figure it out. So this is my next pan. I'm just going to brush that oil on. Just give it a little coating. I definitely don't want to oversaturate it or anything like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the oven for about, these pieces, I had a lot of eggplant. So I found that I actually left mine in there for about 5 minutes. 375, you just have to check, friends, to what your liking is. I could have cooked mine a little bit longer in the oven after I made it and ate it. I could tell that I could have cooked mine both times. But, some people go shorter. Some people just leave it in there a hair. I think some of my pieces might have actually been like a ½ inch. That's why they were a little bit thicker. But 375 to your liking, anywhere in that range. And now we're going to get into the sauce while those are baking. So I have a can of diced tomatoes and I don't know, 1, 2, 3 cans of no sugar or no salt added tomato sauce. Just the Harris Teeter brand. So, and I just have this Tupperware. I'm not going to do any heating or anything like that. And I'm not going to crock pot it or anything. I'm just going to literally mix it together. And guys, this was a spur of the moment decision. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to wing it. It's going to be all right. And so I just tried it. It was kind of an experiment because I had gotten this tomato basil mix that you'll see in a second from the food pantry. All this was from the food pantry, even the diced tomatoes. And I was like, let me just make my own sauce instead of going and buying it because I can. So I just felt really blessed making this sauce too. I felt when I was creating this sauce, I just felt really blessed. Like, how blessed am I that I have everything I need to make sauce for this eggplant. Not to mention we had an abundance of eggplants, guys. That was just one eggplant out of the 5 that I got. So I put all the pasta sauce in there. And then I am going to put the diced tomatoes in. And I drained mine because I didn't want the pasta sauce to be super watery. So I just drained them there. I could have probably had some tomato paste, but I didn't have any. And it wasn't necessary that I did. I don't know, what else can you put into pasta sauce, guys, that will thicken it up? I don't even know. Besides tomato paste. Curious about that. So I'm going to take my little whisker, and I'm going to start whisking here in a second. It was really bland when I tasted it too, friends. I guess I wasn't expecting that, but I was like, oh my gosh, because it's no salt added. So we don't realize how much salt savors our food until you don't have it in there and you're like, oh gosh. So I'm going to get that seasoning right now. Those are 2 huge seasoning packs too. I'm excited. I'm so excited about it. It comes from some establishment or pizza joint or something. It's it says it's 2 batches. I don't know if that's supposed to be a soup seasoning or what. I have no clue. But I put quite a bit into the pasta sauce, but it was so yummy. It took me a little bit to figure out what was going to work, how much. I kept tasting it, and it definitely took me a few minutes. The cool thing about this is, and I was definitely really meditating on this when I was enjoying making it. That's why I didn't explain while I was making it. I just really wanted to chill out and relax and just enjoy the process and make it with love without worrying about explaining it or anything like that. And I just wanted to focus, But the really cool thing I was meditating on was how neat is it to be able to be creative and like be like, okay, I have all these things, you know, and I'm gonna make something with it. And just it's okay if it's not perfect, you know. You can try things, you'll learn what not to do the next time, you know, but it's really exciting just to kind of wing it and just go with it sometimes and see what you can create. I really enjoyed that. I did add garlic powder and salt and pepper. Now, you're going to see me shaking the salt a lot, friends, but there's really not a lot going in because there's not a lot coming out of the top. It's kind of like it's pretty closed off. And I'm making this for my mother-in-law, and I, didn't want to put too much salt in it or anything like that. So, like, I was definitely made it so the crack was like barely open. That's why I'm having to like super shake on it. And then we have powder, or excuse me, black pepper. And I definitely was like, oh my gosh, this is so not. At that point, I was like, oh my gosh, it's definitely not. It's bland. It's really bland. And I was like, I've got to do something. So I added more seasoning. And then I remembered, oh yeah, I have in the back there, I don't know if you can see past the dishpan, there's this little teeny can of Hunt's sauce. And it is seasoned like with garlic and I can't remember what it was, garlic and something or other. But I was like, yeah, let me add that because that'll be just enough. Yep. So I added that. That was like the perfect touch. And look, I had left it out too. It was like the perfect touch to bring the sauce to where I wanted it to be. So I was like, oh, I'm so blessed. I just felt so blessed about that too. It's always working out for us. I love that. I get so excited. I give like the camera this crazy thumbs up in a second here. When I taste it, I'm like, oh, yes. Sauce turned out so good, guys. I was like, wow. And I was feeling really blessed because I've got more down there that I can use to make more sauce. I felt such an abundance of, I felt so blessed and so much abundance when I was making this meal today. I really enjoyed it. It was in such a good space. I put a lot of that seasoning in, but it really made it taste fantastic. Especially once this sauce baked in the oven with the eggplant. Oh my gosh, it was so yummy. My mother-in-law loved it. She said it was the best yet. Yep, I was really happy there, guys. See? I was so pumped. Yes! I was so pumped there. Now, I've taken the eggplant out. I'm going to show you. See what mine looks like. I left mine in there 375 or about 5 minutes. Next time I'll leave them longer. I think my slices were more like half-inch slices instead of quarter-inch, so that's okay. They're a little bit thicker. So you need a casserole dish of some sort, baking dish. You can do it in a tin pan, like whatever you want to do. And you want to put pasta sauce in the pan on the bottom first. You don't have to grease it or anything like that. Just put the pasta sauce down, and that's going to keep it from sticking to the bottom. Just rub it all around. Rub it all around. And just totally coat the bottom of the pan. Yep. Perfect. And then you'll start layering the eggplant. So you'll just overlap them just a little bit. Okay, I have Parmesan and Romano cheese, and I don't have a whole lot of that left, but there was just enough. And then I have mozzarella, and I want to tell you guys, that mozzarella, 8 cups of mozzarella cheese there is at Aldi for $5.19. That bag is a really good deal. I wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay these puppies down. I'm going to overlap them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to salt and pepper them. And I'm going to put that Parmesan cheese on top. And then I'm going to put mozzarella on top. And then I'm going to add more sauce to the top. This turned out so delicious. I really enjoy eggplant a lot. Every time I have it, I enjoy it more and more. See, I didn't put a whole lot, friends. And I did not have a lot of that left, but it was just enough. I could have gone and gotten some more, but I wanted to see if I could make it with what I had. So putting the mozzarella cheese on top. You can add more or less depending on what you like, of course. You know, I just did like a thin little coat, and then, you see? And then I added pasta sauce on top. So that completes one layer. And then basically, just, you know, once you get the sauce down, I just repeat it again. I laid down the eggplant and just layered it little by little until it was completely covered. And then I just went ahead and repeated the process of salt and pepper, Parmesan cheese, mozzarella cheese, and then another layer of tomato sauce. It's actually really simple to make, even, you know, creating the pasta sauce. Like, I know I didn't create the pasta sauce from, like, the scratch or anything, you know, but instead of just pouring the jar out of the pan, you know, or pouring the tomato sauce out of the jar, it was pretty simple. So, got the mozzarella. And then just one more layer. Oop, and I forgot. Whoops, gotta put pasta sauce down. Just add the pasta sauce. Just mix it. Mix it, mix it, mix it. And I have actually enough of that sauce to probably do another one of those. Another eggplant parm. So I don't know if I'll use the sauce and spaghetti or eggplant parm or what, but I ran out of cheese today, so. But me and my mother-in-law, when I took it over there, I sat down and had a little piece of it with her. It was delicious. It was so yummy. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to talk when I was cooking it, guys, is because sometimes I feel like when I make something, I can focus and I can like really put love into it, you know? So I kind of got confused here. I was like, what do I do? Do I put sauce on top? So I went ahead and did salt, pepper, the rest of the Parmesan. I did a little bit of mozzarella, and then I put sauce, and then I put cheese again. So just a little bit of cheese. I did one more layer of sauce, and I swirled it around, and then I put mozzarella back on top, and just put her in the oven. Now I did 375 for Probably about 20 to 25 minutes. I could have gone longer, guys. I really could have, I guess. And I probably could have gone hotter. I didn't want to burn it or anything like that. You know, and you can go, it's just to your liking. It was a little bit firm, you know, but either way, it was absolutely delicious. Not too firm, but, you know, it could have been softer. But like I said, I think I could have left it in there longer in the very beginning when I first baked it. So, and this is what it looks like.
20 minutes at
Baked,
375.
absolutely delicious. It was yummy. What a fantastic meal that I was able to create from the things that I got from the food pantry. I feel so blessed. Thank you, friends, for watching. Remember that everything is always working out for us, and I love you all. And I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
It's beautiful.